Hello and welcome to the preview show of racing for the start of the Golden Slipper Festival at Rose Hill. Mark Lambourne, Brent Zarafa, hello there.
Dallas Baker, and plenty to get excited about tomorrow because we're back in the true and a bit of water on the track and looking at a bit of a feast, I think, Dale.
Absolutely. Before we get into it though, Brent, congratulations, Racing.com have picked you up, as they so they should have, and probably says you should never have been able to be picked up by the little organisation called the Punters Show in the first place. But it's yeah, obviously you know, we know what the situation was, and should never have happened. But it's good that you're back into the more mainstream role, which is where you belong.
Thanks for that. He's been rehabilitated by us.
Yeah, that's right, exactly right.
I've spent the past couple of months with the Punters Show and thoroughly enjoyed it. Certainly. Great fan of the work that everyone does involved there, and I'll be sort of still working there until May, and then I'll be heading down to Melbourne, which will be a bit of a change, but something that I'm sort of looking forward to. Our people haven't spoken to your people yet, but is there a spotters fee here?
Oh,
commission agent?
Just
transfer?
Just helping people, Mark. That's what we do. As Glenn said at the show, I just help people. But no, but hopefully you'll still have some involvement. We haven't really got down that path yet, but you know, we would be hoping that would be the case anyway. But mate, well done.
Friends of the Punters Show for life.
Good work, mate. Good work. Good to see. Anyway, all right. So, mate, as you mentioned, Mark, a bit of rain. We've continued on with this sensational 30-degree weather, which has been hotter in the western suburbs. So, I suppose if you're going to, if you are going to be an opposer to hosing, this is sort of the week that you probably even could say, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah, I know, but we're probably going to walk into the weekend with a bit of this, you know, which is not. Which is just going to play a little bit of havoc with the moisture that is in the track. So all I'm suggesting is that artificial irrigation just produces a situation that on a true rail you likely not want to be there.
Yeah, exactly. So you're probably looking at lane, fence worst spot, the next 2 or 3 metres not great, and the best probably 4 metres off or thereabouts, 4 to 8 metres off or thereabouts.
But I think that tends to produce pretty fair racing at Rose Hill. I think it's good looking racing. It is. I'd rather it be that than rail 6 greyhounds just up the inside.
No, I'm totally with you.
You've basically got 2 or 3 horses that have got a chance, whereas here leaders can get away from the inside. That's right. And those can sort of
and you know, with not huge fields all day, most of the runners are probably going to be in that right zone. So it's not going to.
Yeah, look,
I don't think you want hard inside gates are not really what you want, is that?
Yeah, right, I think it's an attractive prospect, and we've got pretty much the same at Kembla today. They put 68 mils of irrigation on their track, they must be able to take a bit.
Which is created
Kembla is the track that goes heavy 10 after there's 25. Yeah, that's what I can't work out. Like, some mornings on a Saturday you wake up and they say 12 mils of rain, we've gone from a heavy 8, we're off.
They're respecting the track, yeah.
Yes, anyway, so we're expecting a bit of a not diabolical track today at Kembla, but certainly a fairly savage sort of track.
All right, well, we'll get into Rose Hill. As it says, start of the Rose Hill. Is it still called the Golden Slipper Festival? Whatever.
Yes,
hey?
We can call it that.
We will, yeah, exactly. Golden Slipper is next week, in case you haven't realised. The Sky High Stakes, 2,000 metres. Hello. Hartnell is our favourite, ahead of Pemberley, who isn't in, and his stablemate Magic Hurricanes next bit.
Wow, you know, this race is worth 350,000. It's gone up from 150 last year.
Is that right?
It looks like they must be trying to sort of turn it into a genuine lead up to a Queen Elizabeth or a Randvet. Yeah. Because it seems an interesting choice considering it's on the same day as the Australian Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
Targeting the same pool
where's
of
the Randvet? The Randvet's gone to the middle day now.
Yeah, it's no, sorry, the Randvet must be next week, is it?
Yes, and then the BMW
the week after.
The week after. So. This is a BMW lead-up, and there's not a lot here. I mean, there's nice names, but there's not a lot of form action here. No. I mean, we've got Hartnell, who's probably about even money with the scratching.
Shorter.
I think you can still get. Well, when I looked at this morning,
some places.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's coming off.
It might not have been with the scratching.
Just to run first up. I mean, you know, there he was, and really, there's nothing dynamic about that. Yeah, I couldn't get near him at that price. No. Like, going into his first up run, I was thinking, okay, off his form this time last year, you're probably going to be one of the biggest dangers to Winks. He was just playing. Like, he was okay, but $1.70.
But he was a bit like that in the spring, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
He did make a big elevation though in Melbourne. That Turnbull Stakes run.
Okay, so is that the same stage as this run here?
Yeah, it was.
It is
No,
second
he was second up, but he was a month off second up too.
So he won this race last year off exactly the same preparation. But I'd say last year his run in the Chipping Norton was a lot better than it was
with James Doyle aboard.
Yeah, going back to last and hitting the line really strong.
Yeah, this time there's no J Mac rode it first up.
And last time he got into this race, it was a set weights and penalties race. He had the minimum. Now he's got top weight of 58. So I see a few negatives here. I was interested in Who Shot the Barman, Magic Hurricane, Grand Marshal, and even potentially Sir John Hawkwood, who's a little bit unorthodox, but I thought his recent trial was quite good. I thought they offer some resistance here, and I'd be sort of looking to group them up, lay the shorts and take evens. One of them beats him.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that strategy, and certainly you're looking from with the Waller horses getting up over the more of a journey. You're looking for them to do something. I mean, Who Shot the Barman is an interesting horse. He's actually a high quality horse that is apt to be hidden at various stages in his career. I mean, Messine is the horse that's had preparation to do something. We've never really seen him at a distance. He looks our leader, and I guess that Magic Hurricane probably sits second. Hartnell will be perfectly ridden, but the query is the substance of his recent form.
The thing was interesting, I heard it on Melbourne radio on Friday morning. Chris Waller nominated Who Shot the Barman as his best winning chance at Rosehill. He's got about 16 runners on a carnival day.
Yeah, well, we've seen when Who Shot the Barman's gone bingo.
Won by 7 lengths in the Zipping Classic last year. And it mightn't have been a race with huge amount of depth, but he still did go very well.
He can. When the switch is on, he's on. Yeah. Anyway, I'm neither or. I don't want to back Hartnell at that price. I don't want to back against it. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's let it slide. All right. Okay, that's race 1. Before we get into race 2, Mounting Yard Mail is the product in focus this week. And it has been a product we've been talking about for quite some time. Glenn, seeing him like baseball still.
Oh, there was
a little Warren Huntley.
There was oxygen aplenty on Monday. You know, we just couldn't. We
could breathe, could you? Yeah. So
he was loving all them shorties getting beat last week.
He was. He sure was.
The Glenstar. One thing you can say, you've got to say about the Glenstar, he's there every week, backing up. Doesn't matter how bad it's been,
that's true,
or good it's been, and he's always there.
Up another biscuit tin, gets those fresh 50s out.
There they are. There they are. I don't know if he told you the story on Thursday night. He's rugby. When it was Friday night, he said, "No, that's it." Was there a Wild meeting last Friday or something?
Last Thursday.
That was Thursday. He's rung me. He said, "No, that's it.
7 favourites.
That's it. That's it. I'm done for cash for the rest of my life. The whole cash sport is done. I won't be turning up with anything or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, "It doesn't look a bad Benny Manny." He said, "You're right. I better make a few calls." And then on Saturday, there it is. The pocket yard. Neatly pressed brick. He is the best. Anyway, what has been going really, really well for quite a while now is the Mounting Yard Mail. Both Glen in Sydney, Warren in Melbourne. Get the package for what is we're obviously now Sydney focused with our friends in Melbourne covering a lot of it, but this is really one of the great days punning, because you've got the Carnival Day in Sydney, but you've also got it mixed with Australian Cup Day in Melbourne. As far as the left and right bower, it's you've got both of them. So
yeah, it's a great day, isn't it?
Combine it up with Warren in the Yard at Flemington, $55 for that, and you'll also get There They Are, which continues to turn a profit and has for the last couple of years it's been on, and the track work from Randwick and Flemington thrown in. So you get a bit of quite a lot of things going on with the Mounting Yard Mail, as well as the other little services. Pago Stakes, 1200 metres. Sutures, Mount Panorama, Lionhearted, all doing their best for favouritism.
Mediterranean is in there somewhere. He was a nice style of debut. I imagine that Lionhearted seeks to cross. The Reverend Demon has some early toe, and Suchet shouldn't be far away for his new rider.
That might see a little bit more of the inside fence from barrier 1 too than he did.
Well, yeah, but it may be a day where he doesn't. Yeah, although J Mac is the king of the handling them from the inside. Like for example, he rode that Flashing Speed beautifully. I mean,
cut up the inside, got there up.
Yeah, he is the master of the bad draws.
All right, okay. What are your thoughts, Brett?
I think if Brett Preble can get Mount Panorama out of the gates cleanly, I think he'll just about win this race. I think he's coming out of the strongest form event behind a Stern, who I'm giving as probably my leading Golden Slipper fancy at this stage. Right. Defcon ran second, who's since come out impressive, winning the Black Opal. His run previous to that on the wet track I thought was quite good, but he's just a horse who hasn't put it all together as yet. He's missed the kick, he's got into the wrong part, he hasn't had everything go his way, and I think from gate 2, if he jumps clean, he's in touch, he'll be the one stalking and storming late here, and I don't know, maybe he backs up next week in a Golden Slipper, and it's probably a
run first prep, yeah.
Yeah, like whether he could be competitive there, I'm not sure, but I think in this race he's well suited.
I'm probably I like that race from Randwick a couple of weeks ago. The Good Standing. I think Good Standing is in good standing in the Slipper as well. Yes. So it's a race to be won. I think the Melbourne horses have got it on them clearly on data, but they've got to come and do it up here. So yeah, I think he's a real contender there, and if he's a contender, Lionhearted there. I think there was a big difference.
But Lionhearted was like what you saw was what you got, wasn't it?
And he was suited by the on pace. Now he's drawn 12. He's got a few things against him.
Well, I just think I think he did enough there the other day. I mean, I know there wasn't much looking to it. I thought he did enough there the other day. There, I can't be with a horse fourth up first prep, Brent. But so I normally sort of put the big cross next to him for that, and so I'll continue with that. And Suchez, I think you talk about what you see is what you get. I think Suchez is, or after 2 runs, is pretty much what you see is what you get.
What do you mean? Like the other day, he was there, W. Buick on him. He was just like all around the track. Tomorrow he's got Jay McDonald. Surely he's a different horse tomorrow.
Yeah, I know he's different, but I think I'm for.
He started at a quarter of the price of Lionhearted. Yeah. Like surely you've got to beat Lionhearted home tomorrow, given the circumstances.
I agree with that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Like Lionhearted just, you know, he played it professionally 2 weeks ago, but. Anyway, that's actually what led me to Mount Panorama, was the fact that I think that Suchet has got to handle Lionhearted, but they're both a drag on each other. Obviously, Mediterranean is a horse, a scopy sort of horse, and you know, Snowden is just such a potent force in racing at the moment that I'm a bit scared of him. But you know, it's your Randwick race, which I agree with you, it's not a bad race. But Mount Panorama, I think, is the stalker here that I'm focused on.
All right, lovely. But in saying that, I'm not really into it. I don't really like the race, to be honest.
I'm getting quite keen. Mount Panorama. If he parades that he hasn't gone over the top, or is looking like he's in pretty good condition, which Hawks are a fair team that can do that with their 2-year-olds. Yeah, I think that if he jumps out in the first 50 metres and he's not missing the kick by 4 lengths like he did last start, I think he's beating this field.
All right, that's race 2. Race 3, the Bede Murray Magic Night Stakes. Sad news, obviously not unexpected with Bede, but one of the really nice people in racing, Bede Murray, has been for a long, long time. When doing the country carnival circuits as I was, you could always guarantee you're going to have a drink with Bede at some stage.
He's a great character, Bede, and recently when I had my little sojourn from racing, I actually went to a Sunday meeting down at Nowra, and was helping out a friend of ours who was a bookmaker down there, and just sort of doing the form and having a few bets. And Bede Murray had a couple of runners in, and he come up, and I had this horse penciled down to visit a bit of a wet tracker, as a dry tracker, and it was on a wet track, and he come and backed it with us. Yeah, he had a small bet on, and he sort of bet again. And I said, I thought this horse was a bit of a wet tracker, Bede. He said, I think you'll find he's not.
Yeah.
Too good, Bede. $10 comes steaming down the outside and got the cash. Like,
wow.
Yeah, you know, he wasn't betting big, but he had such an interest in it. Still, he still liked that old school.
Talk about the old school set for a carnival. Back the shit out of them. Yeah. He's probably, in my time, I think him and Tim Martin, when Tim Martin was training at Tamworth, they were the absolute two. You just go, this is good, mate, and really, you know, made a lot of those country carnivals so interesting.
Did it right the way through.
Yeah, so one of the nicest men you'd ever meet on a race course, and with a long battle of cancer and all that, and which is horrible as we all know. And Bede Murray, what a man. 380 Calliope or thereabouts. Prompt Response is the favourite, and Yep, next pick is Oh My Sword. Is that how we pronounce it?
Oh My Sword, yeah.
Expensive.
Chris
Expensive
Waller's Golden Slipper winner, perhaps. Here it comes.
Well, Golden Slipper runner, perhaps.
Yeah.
Whether will they back her up? That's the.
Nah,
it's not his style, but.
$4 million.
I know.
probably get over that pretty quickly. Horse
this is a classic contest here because we've got Gay from Gate 1. It's just had a 1,000 metre run. And it resumes here off a short course trial from Gate 1. It's like game on.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot to like about it. It's definitely got talent, but gee, it's
got a lot of fights with it. It's got a lot of fights with itself at the moment, doesn't it?
She's going to need to be good. Yeah. That last 100 metres is going to be the query. But its trial was, I love the way she drove away from who was it? The horse, Kentucky Miss, who's got stakes form. It wasn't a hack trial, and she sort of jig, and then the last 50 metres, the jockey just went. Who was it? James McDonald let her stride for 50 metres, and she accelerated quickly. Like you say, just whether having that grounding, you would have loved to have seen her have another 1,000 metre trial or something like that to go into it.
Yeah, she's a trickster.
Isn't it amazing? Like last week, we had the Riesling with 4 or 5 in it.
Yeah, I know.
And you've got a Magic Night the week before the Slipper, and you've got full field and everyone trying to get a run.
I know, and one's 300,000, the other's 175,000. The
Group 2
maybe it's
like, if you win it, you're worth a hell of a lot more than that as a filly.
Exactly.
I think the perception is that the Riesling is
a harder one.
Yeah, is too tough. All those who thought that might like to think again after last week.
Well, that's right, exactly. Well, I know it's a bigger field and there's more percentage to go around, but what Calliope SP'd at
Evens or no, it was about 220,
230. Would that be about where it went?
Late, wasn't it?
Where it went. So it's 230. It's $3.80 or thereabouts in current betting, probably better. So I know there's more per to go around, but yeah, there you are.
Well, anyway. Although there is a serious horse in this race called Prompt Response. Just had a slightly unorthodox preparation, which left me a little vexed. I'm looking here at Palomino, who I thought went well enough at Randwick when not particularly well suited. Sprite, I think, found circumstances against her, in fact, in all 3 runs, and I could throw a ticket on her, and that will do me. Obviously, you've got Calliope, who's drawn. Prompt Response has drawn 1. Calliope's drawn 2. It's both. You'd love to see either or both of them drawn wide.
Yeah, I don't know really where to turn in this race. I've got a slight leaning to Oh My Sword because I think she's got significant upside, and I loved what she did at 1,100 metres on debut at Rose Hill.
Extra 100, great, isn't it?
And it was just the way, like I think you watched the head-on of that replay, and Hugh Bowman, he didn't even give her a half nudge with the whip. It was all just classic hands and heels riding to say, come on girl, you've got a bit more out under the hood, but you're going to get there, and I'm not completely squeezing the tube here. So from gate 4, you'd imagine this is going to be generated some speed in this race. A lot of people sort of chasing that elusive stakes race for 2-year-old fillies. There's going to be something there for her to be strong late, I think. And at sort of $7, $8, she may be the one. Calliope, you've got to respect, given the fact that the team think she's a genuine Golden Slipper Hope, and if that's the case, she's got to be competitive here.
Right, yeah, I'm really taking. I know Glenn actually made a point last week when we were looking at what was the horse that came through that race, whatever it was. He said this is a really good horse, so he was taken with what he saw in the yard. Oh My Sword.
Oh My Sword.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, so that was the thing of Anthony Cummings that finished third behind it.
Whatever it was called. But yeah, so he had a good opinion from what he said. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and I think if it can repeat what it did, which I was expected to improve upon.
Well, it came from off the speed in a slightly long race.
It's run best last 8-6, second best last 8-6 and 4, and best last 2 of the day. Yeah, that's not bad for a 2-year-old. So that
being by High Chaparral out of a good mare in Irish Lights, who was 1,000 guineas. So it has the pedigree and everything to suggest that she's a good horse in the making.
All right, lovely. So I'm Oh My Sword. So are you, Brent? Just?
Yeah, I'm just, but not a lot of confidence in this one.
Beautiful. All right, Mark, what's happening with you? Obviously this afternoon for anybody who, this will be online early enough for people to have a crack at Kembla.
I always love this day at Kembla, and tomorrow we've got Rose Hill with comments and suggested trades. And Beaumont, which has managed to find has been sandwiched up by the recent run of meetings with Monday Kembla, Tuesday Hawkesbury has left us with about 50 odd to go around at Beaumont tomorrow.
Mate, I'm sure you're not complaining about that after all the work you've had to do this week. Perfect. All right, so grab Mark's stuff, like as always, available on the site, and just sign up for $60 per week, and you will be very happy with what you get. APN Outdoor Handicap is over 1,900 metres, and Citations is not running with us. Everyone is equal favourite.
Yeah, this is the strangest race, isn't it?
Yeah, I went looking at the previous programs and it hadn't been on the card last year. There was a 1,500 that was a similar benchmark.
And it's sort of strange with the 2,000 metres race we spoke about earlier on as well too.
It doesn't look a bad contest though.
Mm.
Yeah, but the 3-year-olds taking on the older horses, which add a bit of spice to it.
3-year-old filly as well too.
It's a curious race, and we've got sort of 2 horses to go forward. Off the Rails, who Byrne sent west to try and recover himself.
Yeah, he's been on the circuit off the rails.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the Pete Murray trained horse, isn't it? We're chasing the cubs.
He nicknamed himself Bindi Baker yesterday.
Did he? Yeah.
Good one, Bindi. I'll be in that. So Off the Rails is heading forward.
Don't have money in your box, boys. There's no point. Right to go, send them round.
Did some hippo push chasing last week. Self-Esteem worked quite hard in the run there at the Wednesday meeting, that she managed to stave off the Oaks. She's not Oaks' favourite. She's well in the betting in the Oaks. Daisy's.
Happy Hannah.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about a week ago. Sorry. I'm talking about the betting picture a week ago, before Happy Hannah ran on Wednesday. Daisy's Joy.
Well,
let's worry about Oaks betting when we get to it, eh, Mark? Let's just not get there. Okay.
Oaks contender, runner, maybe.
Anyway, so Self-Esteem posies up, and you've got another cocktail coming back from 2,400. You've got Word of Mouth, who has been up here previously, but is a renowned wet tracker, from what I can see. And you've got Slow Pace, who's had more time off. And the 3-year-olds, I could only look down the bottom, and the filly that broke through seems to posse up there, and will take a bit of catching, in my opinion.
I have no.
I was interested here in Slow Pace. I quite liked its performance last start. I've been taken by its last 2 runs. I think it's had merit, and Allergic was good in a strong race last week. Probably should have beaten Libran last week. I think that's serious form for a horse who's dropping back to a, what is this, benchmark 85. Obviously the negative to that is the significant weight that it is sort of having to carry. That's somewhat negated by the claim for Samantha Clinton. Lack of tempo doesn't look ideal for this horse, but I'm just getting sucked back in thinking it's got a bit of class on its side compared to...
He's going well, but I had him down as a horse relishing the sting out of the ground. Well, no, he actually ran into 3 off tracks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway.
No.
I don't know.
Anyway, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, it's just a horse that last run I had something on going into that race. It ran well, and I thought, well, you've done enough for me to suggest the next start you're probably going to be competitive in a listed race on the minimum somewhere. It's ended up in a benchmark 85, which isn't very strong. Been back to the trials, it was given an easy time in a 1,000 metre trial, allowed to hit the line, looked to hit the line quite well. So I think it's in a race where it can win on a carnival day for its connections, where it isn't really a carnival race.
Well, there's you know, it's pretty much, there's 2 horses that have had their last run on a Saturday in Sydney.
Exactly. Hersley's the other interesting horse. Blinkers back on. Disappointing run last start. Finally up in trip. 3-year-old who could potentially go to the Derby.
Anyone wanting to play in it, or?
Yeah, small, slow pace and small Hersley.
Yeah, I'd back all 3-year-olds down the bottom.
Okay. All right, there it is. Race 4. That was race 5. Smooth FM. Morris McCunnon. Thanks. Speaking of Smooth FM, that's part of the ARN network, Brent, which one day we'll be live on with our radio show. At the moment, until it goes live on the ARN.
The mice are still just in the wheel, just
until it goes live. which is going to be in 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
That's what it's going to be. It's been 2 weeks since Jesus was a boy.
Who's responsible for it?
Oh, it's just around. There's a lot. I think when you're launching a 24-hour sports radio show, there's probably radio network. There's probably a little bit that needs to go into it. We're organised.
And the thing is, we're ready to go. We could go live.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, but the technology isn't allowing us to.
Yeah, well, we don't have a thing called a radio network.
There's actually no dial.
If anyone's got a spare 100 million out there, we're happy to jump on board. Eonsports.com.au, or you'll be able to get it off the Punter Show website tomorrow morning. Brent, as always, you'll catch up with Mark, Glenn, Stewie Davidson, Vince Accardi, John McLeod, Darren Potter, John Walter. Have I forgotten Fletch? Oh, Steve Fletcher, how can we forget Fletch? They're all on the radio show tomorrow. Well, actually, Fletcher's worth mentioning. Has he not tipped is he tipped a loser on the show yet?
He was good last week. He was strong in Devon, who ended up running second but he was savage against First Seal, and he was quite strong on Holler. So you're not a bad play out of the Group 1 there last week.
Exactly right. And the week before he was bingo when we had to write up the show rather than put it on air. So we didn't even have a pretend network then. So we should just rejoice. In the fact that we've got
tin cans and a bit of string soon.
And while we're doing that, Fletcher's stuff has been sensational. Saturday, a couple of highlights in Sydney, and Melbourne was pretty strong across the board. So Fletcher's stuff again with the double up meeting, the $99 for Sydney and Melbourne, to get involved in these two big cards. Fletch, why not jump on board with him, because he is the best. Alberto Magic is favourite here ahead of Craftiness, who has got the blinkers on but also the bar plates on.
Just something on that. I spoke to Joe Pride yesterday about it's only one bar plate.
So bar plate.
And he said the horse had every bit of gear that it's wearing tomorrow in its recent barrier trial. He said, so if anyone's concerned, watch the barrier trial. What you see in the barrier trial is what you'll get on race day.
It's an interesting thing with one bar plate, which they're obviously heavier than the other ones, is that?
They've sort of got a cushion in them.
Yeah, they've got just like a plate
underneath
the pad, basically. So it stops.
So I wonder if that makes the horse feel unbalanced. Well, anyway, the technicalities of that. All right. The market, whether it's bar plate or whatever, the market isn't going to relish that. I don't.
No, it isn't. But it's also been set up for this race. Whereas we're dealing with a horse that's well, he went very well last preparation, but on rain-affected tracks, Alberto Magic. And then I don't know why he needs to have nearly a year off again.
What it felt like it.
Well, it's like it isn't the objective.
It isn't exactly the stable. You're going to get a lot of information out of it.
No, exactly right.
Alan Denham isn't going to
give Alan Denham a call and see how he goes.
Right, so he's resuming on a
He'd like you.
Alan and I are not close.
I would imagine not. I couldn't see him tolerating your personality.
That's true. I accept that. Anyway, but so we've got Alberto Magic resuming here from Gate 1 of a 9-month spell.
Yeah, I know.
The trials are good, but
and sort of a horse that always has a bit of fragility, a feel to it, doesn't it? It's
well, that's that explains the 9 months.
And he's a 5-year-old that's only had 10 starts. Some 3-year-olds have had 15. That's the way you
trained by Bjorn, they've had 30.
When I first looked at this race, go through the form, look at the barrier trials, and I thought, well, Alberto Magic's flying. Like, this horse is airborne.
The trials are good,
He's top class, and then I look at the price and I go, 250, 260?
And
then I look at its recent form and I go, benchmark 85, beat Turbulent Jet. Yeah, beat How Much Do You Love Me, Wouldn't It Be Nice? Did it good.
Whoopie whoop.
Oh no,
is there any
one of those
sort
of resumers that you get excited about $5 and you really don't.
But then,
and the price that they put up leaves you really cold.
Yeah.
But then you see 1100 metres at Rose Hill, inside gate. He's probably going to be either leading behind the leader.
Well, where's Taylor Marshall? That's what I want to know.
That's exactly. They just have the.
Remember the day Senator Nosh just laid all over Alberto Magic at Warwick Farm? At the midweeks, Taylor Marshall's going, I can't do anything.
That had really completely set. Anyway, so we were probably all alluding to the fact that Alberto Magic is there, but it seems an icky. I think any horse that's 280 days off, whatever you've done, that seems it's a short price.
Yeah. So we've got Craftiness, who I was quite positive about tomorrow, but I can see the case, the negative case.
Yep. What did you make of him first up? I thought he was pretty ordinary.
Well, he just did. They weren't very keen. But then he just sat there and went. He
had 62.5 against Felines, who's a very dynamic 1,000-metre Randwick horse, who then come out and run well in a challenge stakes. So the form isn't completely awful.
It's one of those situations where if he runs well tomorrow, you make sense of it that way. And if he doesn't, you go.
Well, that's what I see. I know.
It's easy to justify your opinion after the race.
I just thought the way that he presented and all that, I expected a lot better from him. I know, it was all negative and all that, but he was playing the last bit, and there was nothing from the yard to suggest that was going to be the case.
I accept that, but we've had woven together in this race a team of weird ones. Like Angels Beach, Gerald Ryan has picked up the training of this mare that used to be with Moody, and
yeah. Well, what are we expecting there? Because she's interesting.
She seems to me to be the one that's I can see the market swinging towards, and her being a dynamite run first up. Not that I'm really wanting to be on her, but you look at a fresh record: 6 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds. She looks like a perfect 1100 metre Rosehill horse from a soft draw.
Yeah, I'm interested in her. Very interesting. Gerald's right on song with his first uppers at the moment too.
Yeah, look, she's a winning prospect, but she's also a bodgy.
Yep.
I mean, it's a field of bodgy.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. She's got friends.
Yes. I tipped them up, and I got left with craftiness, but we've already done him to death.
What, the rider swinging round and back?
Yeah. I love the fact that Corey's not. No, but Corey from Whitegate, it's fine. Look, the fly in the ointment here for me is Barbed, who has been doing 0-0-0.
Yeah.
But he just he's had relatively few runs in Sydney in his lifetime. He did win his first 2 starts, black mark against him, and his subsequent win has been at Canterbury with Jay Cassidy from Cape One. But it just seemed to me to be a horse that's fit enough, because he's had a little bit of racing. It gets Jay McDonald. It's one of those last man standing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scenarios.
And a perfect thing is, we all know Barb has a lot of cat-like qualities to him, but he is in the perfect distance of those 1100 metres. The whole shit. Speed, I can win. Yeah, I did.
He was one horse that I thought at $17-18. If I had to have a bet in this race, I'd be sort of leaning to him small. Real soft trial recently at Rosehill.
In the same trial as Angels Beach, wasn't it?
Yeah, who was allowed to let run a lot more. Obviously down the straight, you can forgive. It's 2 runs at Flemington, and its effort, I thought, behind Cradle Me in their Razor Sharp was good enough to suggest it could be competitive.
In fact, it's recent runs, all that sort of stuff too, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't be bagging it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, love it. That's that race. Beautiful. Alrighty. Race 6 is the Far Lap Stakes, and our favourite is Old North. A lot of blue colours featuring in the discussion today, boys. Ahead of Sacred Eye, Single Gaze is out, and Sacred Eye and Hattori Henzo from Mick Kent's stable. Noel Callow aboard is next pick, we believe.
This can often be a weird race, can't it? I mean, Old North.
It is a weird race.
He's moving nicely, but he's never seen a Saturday. And,
no.
And he turns up here as a
strongly supported favourite.
And as far as the map is concerned, it's we'll believe is likely to go forward. Sacred Eye raced well forward in her Melbourne return. Not necessarily the racing style that she has to adopt. I'd imagine that Old North is not too far away, and Italy, its stablemate on the back up from Canberra, may push forward from a wide gate simply because there's not much to push forward.
All right. So Old North, is it fair enough?
I think he's a serious horse. I think the way he won last start was there was a lot of negatives in that Warwick Farm run, given he was sort of fresh off a little break, 1400, big weights, Warwick Farm, which was probably suiting horses up and on, and he was able to come wide and storm over the top of them late. Good improvement to come. John O'Shea suggesting he's a horse that would be ideally suited to like a Carbine Club stakes at the back end of the card,
which would normally be weaker than this race.
So
this is the race that Winx reinvented herself in last year.
I know, but is there any? There doesn't look to be a lot of depth in this.
The
horse that interests me is Torgerson, who's coming out of the strongest form line, being the Eskimo Prince and the Hobartville, and I think you can make excuses for its first up run at 1200. Was slowly run early, the Hobartville, suited to those who were sort of up and sprinting away. Was back in the ruck, got to the line okay. Now it's just a perfect waller, third up, 1500, home track, dropping grade, soft draw.
Chris has got his eye on this
$12, $13.
Could well be the target. Well, again, after the race, I'm going to tell you, yeah, this was the target race.
Well, I think he had ambition for this horse to be a Guineas horse. Leading into its first up run, he was saying, I like Torgerson, I think he's going better than what people expect, and maybe he didn't reach that level.
This was in the Royal Sovereign?
Yeah, before the...
the Eskimo...
Yeah, before the Eskimo Prince. Yeah, old Royal Sovereign, yeah.
Right, yeah, because, I mean, I developed an opinion of this horse over the summer, and I was surprised at how quickly he was dismissed, albeit at a slightly unsuitable distance. Yeah, look, he's an interesting runner for sure, and makes some sense. I think that the fillies have a good hand, Sacred Eye, sorry, and Believe, who only won a midweeker on this track, but we just have no idea what the bottom of this horse is.
Typical Anthony Cummings.
Oh, yeah, we'll find out.
Typical Anthony
Maiden
Cummings.
bang, group 2.
There we go.
Two other things just to mention. Man of Choice.
Blinkers.
Yeah, and the quick back up and third up, but was on the inside last week.
Is Tatouche huge odds here at 30s?
Yes. Well, Tatouche ran in a very strong provincial championships qualifier and drew the inside at Wyong. So 9 days later, he turns up here without Corey Brown and not at 2,000 metres.
Yeah.
And you see form last preparation. Second to Metallic Crown, beaten half a length in a Group 3 race. Second to Devil Hawk, beaten 0.2 in a Group 3 race. Second to Vambra, beating home Man of Choice. All that sort of spring 3-year-old staying form, he was
ever present.
Big time. I was sort of looking at it going, okay, $10, $11, $12 chance, run at Wyong was not bad, 30s.
Yeah, it's well over.
He's especially a good placement too, because he was normally finding places, wasn't he?
He was.
I think there's a couple of horses here that have probably got elevated, as you say, group form, all that sort of business, but I don't think it really is. And Old North's on the up, and he's got a sustained. Good thing about him, he's got sustained 800 metres and 1200 metres speed, so that's normally a sign of a good horse. And if that is the case, he should win that race.
Do you need to look at him? You haven't seen him?
I haven't seen him, no. But I mean,
this Old North?
Yeah.
He looks big, strong.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I think he could develop into a Queensland Derby horse.
Yeah, he's you normally you can go to a default position for those horses from they do get well looked after. So we have pointed out a few little faults in the O'Shea mechanisms, but they're normally nice horses. So anyway, Old North, race 6. Race 7 is the feature event, the Coolmore Classic, and Gisoni, another blue jacket. Ooh, it could be an unhappy John by the end of the day. There's a few failures there, Brent.
He's been in pretty good mood of late. He was pretty happy last week.
Group 1
winner with Holler, exactly right. Great for the team.
Interesting race, isn't it, this?
Ascadelia next pick, and Solicit in career best form after that.
Doesn't she have to start favourite, Ascadelia?
I think so.
Clear favourite.
I would have thought so.
Clear favourite.
Right, okay, so, but that's the first point that's not in dispute.
I think we'll talk about her. I mean, there looks to be good pace. She's a horse that needs good pace, and she probably hasn't had the. She probably has, even though she's won a Maya State. Sorry, should have won a Maya Stakes. She's never really been the setup that she is, and tomorrow might be the best setup she's got.
It's fascinating how many of these actually ran in the Maya last year. So Politeness obviously won the race.
Yes.
And Ascadelia, I think, started the shortest priced runner. Amicus was there, Solicit was there, Vigara was there, and Slightly Sweet was there.
And now they're all, well, the main ones are having to give Ascadelia 3 or 4 kilos under these conditions compared to the set weights conditions of a Maya Classic. And the more you watch the replay, you think, was this horse in fast forward and the rest of them in slow motion when you watch the replay? Because I don't think for the amount of races that we watch every day, I can't remember a horse visually looking like it's going so much faster than the rest of the field than Ascadelia on that day in the Maya Classic. She was making up 3 lengths with every stride, and it was an act of who knows that she didn't win the race.
And with against the pattern.
It was an unbelievable performance.
Yeah. So she was wide on the track, was she?
She was out wide. She got sucked out at the 400 metre mark and dragged all the way back to last. Brought to the outside to get clear room, then went back inside because it looked like there was a half gap.
Yep.
And then just went like a rocket.
Kieran, wow.
And the first two runs, her first up run was just almost like a glorified barrier trial. She just got beat by Tuscan Sling. She won the mannerism there last start, just sort of
on a slow pace again.
Just going sitting wide, yeah, I'm better than you guys. I'm just getting there.
It took a long time to it, but
screws down now.
Yeah, that's right.
Weight off. I think if she's within 2 or 3 lengths of them coming to the 200,
you
go. See which way she
Ascadelia, Mark. It seems like we're keen on Ascadelia.
It's fascinating to delve into because I mean I'm not that familiar with this horse, obviously, but I don't get how she starts 11-4. Favourite against Kermadec in the Carbine Club, and then the next preparation she can start 7-2. Admittedly Cranbourne Cup Day, but it's just a benchmark 78.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
It's Melbourne. It's by Glen.
2 runs later, she's the good thing beaten in the mire.
And the day she got beat at Moonee Valley, that was the Cox Plate Day, which Travelator on the inside, fence, Coronation Chelan led, and she only needed not even half a stride and she should have won, and she'd come from last on the turn. Like the run was unbelievable.
Yeah, right. She's got a huge sprint and she can do it under off a fast pace and it's better suited. Perfect.
All right. So she will start favourite. That's good.
Zambar was a horse that I thought represented a bit of value going off her last run to Solicit in the Guy Walter Stakes. Given the fact that I know Solicit was a track record or race record or how quick they went that
track record,
spinning because wind assisted.
It was
good,
suited to leaders that day, and she found the perfect spot. Everything went right for her, and they carried sort of 56 to 55. Now she goes down to the minimum of 51. Whether barrier 1's going to be the right gate for Zambar, I'm not convinced, but she's going to be, if they do overdo the pressure early, she'll be the one rocketing out of the pack.
Well, you got the rider to overcome barrier 1. Solicit, is it just a case that she's, I mean, I think as I made the comment before, she's racing in career best form, and I've got gravitated away. Is it just because she's sort of done it the last few and it's, you know, she's done her bit and now move on, darling, off your pop?
Maybe. Look, she looks to lead here with Gizzoni on her outside, so I imagine that Vergara takes the trail and Peeping sits one out, one back. Unless Winona gets busy on pearls underneath them. So they sort of look to fall into a formation that's not too unfavourable.
I just think there's better suiting races for Solicit. She's weight for age first up, weight for age second up, good wins, set weights against the mares, handicap. How can she turn around? Like, I just can't see how she can turn around the run of Ascadelia from the mire last year.
Well, I think she's probably going.
She has won twice since then.
She's going better. I think she'd almost lost away half, but I mean she was refinding away, and she's now got it back again.
But yes, I know she was good against Winx, but she beat horses that weren't competitive. She was good behind Arbella Malachi, but the horse behind her weren't really competitive. I'm just thinking, is there that much to her form?
No, maybe not.
But she's going to start twice the price of Ascadelia.
Well, but she isn't at the moment. That's what I can't work out. She's sort of still $6 and quite hard in the moment.
And the other one I like is Amicus.
It was just completely put to the sword the other day in a perfect tune-up. Well, she's going to slot in like she did in this race last year. Remember T. Clark rode her in this race last year, and she just dead set. She didn't have much substance at that stage.
No.
And she dead set. He just put her in the position, and she was there to win. Poor old First Seal was trying to, trying to get past her and couldn't. And it was she was trying to fend her off. So
and no doubt again.
What do we say, Gizzoni?
Yeah, what are we saying, Gizzoni?
Fourth career start.
Fourth career, second up.
She looks an exciting 3-year-old.
She is. She's a lovely type, as I think has been mentioned everywhere.
Exciting wasn't the word that I thought of when I saw her. I mean, she's regulation. She didn't tell us much the other day, other than she's promising and she's adaptable and
she was heavily backed on the back of having a lot of things in her favour.
Yeah, but having said that, I mean she's still going into a race where she's going like this and she's going into the right race.
Yes, in the right conditions with 50 on her back. Yeah. The 3-year-old fillies that have won it: Typhoon Tracy, Tuesday Joy, It was Gay's filly that run.
Tracy only 3 then?
Yeah. Sweet Idea runs second to Steps in Time as a 3-year-old. I'm just trying to think of other recent 3-year-olds that have sort of been strongly supported or ran well in this race, and they've all been sort of around that 52, 53 mark because they were better performed. Getting down to 50, that gives her the big carrot, but I don't think she gets the same run as she did last time because there's a lot more pressure in this race.
Yeah, so the acid is applied to Jasoni tomorrow, and that's going to tell us, it's going to inform us about her.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we said. I'm Ascadelia and Amicus.
I'm Ascadelia. That's my day.
I agree with you, Dal.
Beautiful. All right, race 8 is the Ajax Stakes. General Ife, another blue jacket, is there from another blue jacket. It's somewhat in the mix there as well. Good Project and Rock Sturdy, sort of secondish picks.
Yes. So not an overly fast race, despite the for the field size I had. It's somewhat leading.
Yeah, it's not exactly super keen, is it? Excess Knowledge is probably its mate. Is that about right?
Well, Excess Knowledge coming back from leading in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's how silly it is, isn't it?
Well, Red Excitement could be part of the van. Went forward in Melbourne in looked a very weak race last start, wasn't it? Because there's Dances on Stars placing in that race as well. Maybe Sadler's Lake, who's fresh with the blinkers on, could find himself well forward, presuming 1500. So it's more a case of 14 runners having to find positions and the pace being genuine enough by virtue of that fact. I felt that there was, well, I basically ticked 4 runners here: General Ife, Rock Sturdy, Cool Company, and Puccini.
Puccini DQ.
I've given a big tick to one of those runners, being Rock Sturdy. His effort last start behind Charlie Boy I thought was one of the runs of the day at Randwick, considering the pattern, where it was, the way the race panned out, the fact that he was first up and open to improvement. Now draws a good gate, up in distance, meets basically the same horses on the same terms as he did there at 1300, and you look at his runs in Flemington last year, he ran 3rd behind Turn Me Loose in the Emirates Stakes. It's pretty serious form. Unbeaten at the distance, goes well at the track. I'd imagine there's a ticket to him in the Doncaster if he wins this, as to anyone who wins this, and I think that's quite an attractive carrot to a number of the connections. I'd be Rock Sturdy, Sadler's Lake, the big X-Factor horse here, as Mark mentioned.
First up?
Waller first up, but he's not first up for no reason. He'd be first up because he's blinkers on, 2 trials without blinkers. A bit like the Charlie Boy theory that I had there a fortnight ago.
Yeah, but this time it's Waller. Like we all went looking for Kermadec last week, and it's
But that was 1300. I think 1500 is a distance where he can get him right off those smaller breaks. I wouldn't be too. I'm wary of him. Not wary, because there's a horse called wary, but I'm thinking I'll be including it in my numbers, that's for sure.
Cool Company you mentioned, Mark, rated awfully first up. It's had the Wallow run, and maybe it's got a bit of an X factor to it.
Yeah, he's he's on everyone's radar, isn't he? Cool Company. Good Project. What about Good Project to go forward? Because of course he led all the way down south, and he does have a forward-running profile previously. So gun to go forward and
quite possibly, yeah. Well, he could control it, couldn't he? But not much.
He's going to have to probably use a little bit of petrol though to get across the field from.
Well, it's a line, it's the ideal start, 1500.
His Good Project is developing into a decent horse.
Definitely, but that's what keeps sort of getting me back to Rock Sturdy purely for the fact that where they were in running last time, if you sort of just watch the replay from the 600, you say, well, Good Project's going to finish in front of Rock Sturdy. He did good things to finish in front of Good Project in my opinion.
All right, and General Ife, the favourite we haven't mentioned, he's become he was a picket fencer, wasn't he? I think and he's now become a non-winner.
Well,
I know
circumstances.
I know circumstances, but it's quite. I think my point being is that
those horses,
that reversion to mean. You're going to get your luck to win races, and you're going to have your bad luck, and even Stevens over time, perhaps.
You need to remember where his wins are. They're at Rosehillpv.
There it is, exactly. Beautiful.
So, like, he resumed in that race where he got up to beat Target Insight at Rosehill. I don't think we haven't seen him at Rosehill since.
7 starts, 4 wins in the 3rd.
And yeah, it was the.
But it's not as if he doesn't go, really. I mean, he did go the other day.
Oh, yeah, he got beat a length and a half.
And should have won.
Look, he's well prepped for this race, you know, I went to a lot of trouble to mark him on top here.
And now to mark a little bit of a theory. Means you've got Blinker's second time. The old forgotten play.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you.
Noted.
All right, so you're generally on top.
Yes.
Brent.
Rock Sturdy from Sadler's Lake with Cool Company, General Leaf, and Rudy could maybe jump out of the ground late.
Did get lost last preparation. Rudy seems to have lost his way a bit, or not?
Yeah, well, he might be a little bit of a wet tracker. That might be the concern, because his form all seems to be on wet tracks. But I thought his recent trial at the Gold Coast was good, and for a horse that was 20 to 1, I'll be putting him in that 40 from a soft draw with no weight on his back.
All right, race 9 is the tab more than just winning over 1350, just as cosmic as the scratching. And yeah, Nancy, the improved Nancy, is 380 ahead of horses such as Lady Lafay, Hollywood Bound, and Lofty's Menu is well in the mark.
Classic, isn't it? So we've got Harry Hotspur and Night Rocker to go out in the van. Dragonfly will posse up, and Nancy has, well, Open Book will slide to just off the speed. Nancy looking for a position just off the speed. What do we make of the trials of this high midnight? Is there something going on here?
I just thought, yeah, he looks a nice horse, but I thought 2,000 metres is what he needs.
His form's not there, but he's when I came to this horse and I went, what's James up to? He seems to be really revving him up. Okay, there's nothing there.
I'm not finding. Yeah, like I saw his trials, but to me it was like a stayer. That's a pace of a race. He's going to probably find him out.
But, right. Okay. Fair enough. Nancy, I thought did well enough the other day.
Much better looking horse this time. I mean, she's still
a big brown. That's
yeah, I know, but yeah, she was a very small
brown,
small awful thing. But she has filled up, and I think on our numbers she improved a couple of lengths, and that would be reflective in how she in her strengthening.
She's got an acceleration. That's what sort of gives her a chance. But where did you have her slotting in from?
Doing one's best.
Yeah, I just thought it was an awful map for her from 16.
Yeah.
For a horse
probably not.
Short.
She just needs to end up in a running line of 3.
Yep.
With cover. That's which
could happen.
Could happen.
Late in the day if they're getting away from the inside.
Look, the horse I want to I must mention is Take Wing, who jumped off the page at me here.
Out of Warwick Farm. Its 2 runs back have been good.
Yeah, well, I don't know what.
What price did it start at Kembla? Shouldn't it? It was a. I'm still
good.
It was
first up of a very long.
I know, but it had that sort of Queensland Derby form. It was tested in some stronger races. I just like those horses when they do resume in those sort of Class 2 lower.
There's 9 winners tomorrow, Brent. You can put that one to bed.
I know.
You'll get another chance.
Yeah, there will be another chance, but they're good opportunities to get horses at better prices than what they probably should be.
Yeah, well anyway, he then went to Warwick Farm and nearly reeled in hand fast off of a pretty slow tempo. He comes to a Saturday race with a bit more pressure, and admittedly Jay Ford will be well back, but he's got the right draw.
Haven't seen him around for a while in Sydney on a Saturday, have we?
No, and that's why he's here, because he's taken Take Wing from a Kembla Saturday to a first day to a Coolmore day.
Welcome back.
I was interested in Lady Lafay.
Yeah, bit of a sprint to her. She went very well first up last time.
And her
second prep for Waller.
Yeah, and her 2 trials have just said you're coming along for a race. I don't know. I was looking for like a listed mares, Group 2, Group 3 mares race, and she's ended up with a lot of weight here. But I think she's ready to offer something.
I'd say, I would say that
she'd be earmarked for the Emancipation or something like that.
Yeah. You can imagine that was a perfect race for her.
I'm sure in 2 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time, you're gonna. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. So whether she's
also a bleeder. She bled last.
Whether she's completely screwed down to be saying I'm going to win this race, but I'm thinking she's a good enough mare to beat. She'll be the better. Like you say, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, you say, well, how did she not win this? Or of course she won that race. What I found was very interesting is I was watching Chris Waller's weekly video that he does, and he's updated his race.
Well, who does it now? Now that Liam's in trouble.
Charlie, the other foreman there, but he said that collaboration is up for sale.
Okay. Oh, okay. Screw it down, yeah.
So he said, collaboration, anyone who wants to purchase the horse, get in contact with the stable, Mr. Peagam.
Right, share in the horse? Or
no, the horse is up for sale. Mr. Peagam bought the horse from England, but we said the horse's form's not good in England, so we'll try and boost its form here in Australia. So, I don't know, does that mean there's going to be some flashing light on its head, steaming down the outside to try and jack its price up?
Well, the full sale sign's up, isn't it, as you said, so yeah. You would think
if it runs well enough, you keep it.
Or does that just mean it goes from a X to X plus?
Yes. Less deductions.
Don't go there.
So when do they get fitted for their suits if it's in comparison to your penalty that they had originally? You know, the suits of the Barley Nine wore with the cross on the heart?
I'm not saying anything.
It's sort of right, if you're going to correlate it, isn't it? For a 200, you can't talk about this.
Save that for Monday.
I'm sure Glenn might have something to say.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Anyway, all good.
It's a slightly tedious race, this race, because you've got the good old Hollywood Bounds and Turbulent Jets and Harry Hotspurs and Open Books and Dragonflyers and Bold Circle. It's and Nancy is there, promising and never quite delivering. Lofty's Menu comes here with a picket fence.
Who was the horse that won the provincial championships last year? Was it Darcy Magic?
No, it was Bede Murray 3-year-old.
Sure and Fast.
Sure and Fast.
It's got a bit of Sure and Fast about it, this horse, because Sure and Fast did the same thing last year. Won a provincial championships race, and then came to town, and everyone was sort of saying, "Oh, he's just getting it ready for the final." Come out and brained him again in a metro race, and then went on to. It just sort of seems very similar type of preparation.
Sure and Fast had some city runs before that. Lofty's Menu city runs are good enough for mine. El Duke.
BZ, you can talk about this.
Yeah, I did last time.
Yeah. No, he tipped it at what, 70?
You've been quiet about it now. It's all right. It's done. We can say.
It's done. It's done. That horse is going to haunt me forever.
Yeah.
All right, so you found it, but you didn't play it.
He was on the Brasco.
Long story.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I nearly jumped off my 6th floor of the Coogee balcony after the race.
He missed it.
I missed it.
And then
my own fault. I only had 3 days to back it, but I didn't realise I had it in a later race. And anyway.
Right.
It is what it is.
Sad story. And then of course,
then it just sort of.
Then of course, Bindy's horse that ran second to it comes out and runs 3rd in the Randwick Guineas.
Yeah.
At 200 to 1.
Bjorn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bindi. Triple. What is it?
Gold Ambition. Yeah, exactly. Not a bad running race. Anyway, all right. Okay, so let's wrap up the last. What are we doing?
I'm small play Lady of Lefay because I'd be disappointed if she won and I didn't have something on. But I'm not going into the race with an abundance of confidence, given that she's fresh and a big block.
I'm Takeover Target Wing.
Okay, take wing, perfect. All right, there it is. Obviously, remember that's Randwick and Rosehill, I should say, Rosehill. And remember, there's the huge day at Flemington, so get on board that. And we'll be back with the Punter Show, and I'll be with you on Monday because I won't double book.
Yeah. Well, Aaron's got to be benched after that business.
What you went up to?
Obviously, you rev him up a bit more for Wednesday, do you? You poke him, get him, bring him to life.
The form guide reads no good in the mornings, man.
Oh, right, okay.
Could have just not read no good. I'm just sort of a couple of little short jabs.
Anyway, next time Aaron comes on the Punter Show, I'm bringing a cattle prod.
All right. Okay. Well, I won't bring one on Monday. Thank you very much. Jump on board all the products, of course. Race Speed Profiles, John McLeod, Darren Potter in Melbourne, Pro Bet Alive, Mark stuff, Glenn stuff, Mounting Up mail coverage, all of that stuff, and I'm sure I've forgotten plenty of them, including Steve Fletcher. Jump on board. Hopefully a winning day across the board, as it consistently has been over the last few weeks.
and an exciting day. We'll catch you on Monday.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh.